Well, I got the break-even price for oil, for the USA shale oil production from J.P. Morgan and Goldman Sachs. One says it's about 76, 77. The other says it's 75. Now, I've also seen a chart that shows it go like this. You know, it's like it can go be from, well, actually even up to $100, depending on where it is. But generally, most of them are in the low 80s, all the way down to $58 a barrel. So it depends on where it is. Now, the same is with the mines, and I would also state this. The real reason, I know there's a bunch of liars out there in the silver world that telling you the cost of production is this and the cost of production is that and all that. You do know that simple one-on-one. You look at the P&L, the profit and loss statement, and net income, they're not making much money. Which means their stock prices, your equities are going down in the miners. They've been going lower. They've been the lowest they've been in years. That's because the commodity prices are suppressed, so they're not making much money. So that's telling you that the prices are too low for them to keep their doors open long term, you know. But this has always been this way with metals. They have major cycles. As a matter of fact, anybody will tell you in the industry that they don't like it when it goes up too high, because what happens is they know it's going to bust. They'd rather have it kind of high, nice steady income, and not go too high, because what happens then is you get this thing called demand destruction, and people find a way to replace the metal with something else in different areas that it's being used, and all of a sudden the price goes like this. They actually have a fear of it being too high, and of course they have a fear of it being too low too. As far as oil goes, there could be also, you never know. I mean, they could be also having a plan to basically destroy the United States, man. Get everybody off of oil. I don't know. Right now, the watchword is deflation. Even the billionaires are talking about that. But if you look back last time, what happened with the markets, the commodities first crash, then the markets crash. I figured when silver went down to 18, well, I wasn't just looking at silver. There's a whole bunch of stuff that was going down when silver went to 18. I figured that was the crash, and the markets were going to crash. But the markets are going to crash. It sounds stupid now because, everybody's like, yeah, you better jump in there. They're setting everybody up. Hey, go jump in there. Go keep the the dollar's been on a tear. The U.S. dollar's been on a tear. The U.S. equities have been on a tear. They're not going to just keep going up. It's going to reverse itself. Then you're going to hear all the people come out and say, like, the sky is falling. It's just going to be another cycle. And then the metals will be going up, and the oil will probably be going up and all that. Of course, Lindsey Williams would probably be selling more DVDs that time because a broken clock is usually right once in a while. I was looking a little bit at what the hell his Yo-Yo was saying for 2015. But I already figured out that, he's part of the scam elite. The latest deal was with the... I'm going to talk a little bit about this guy because I think I provide you some real solutions as far as, he talked about go down to the hospital where the elite go to. And, I'm going to tell you right now, when you go to those places like that down there in Mexico, they'll want like $100,000, $200,000, $300,000 up front, cash. And your health insurance ain't going to pay for it. And you know what? They're going to do stuff that you could do on your own for the most part. I mean, the ozone therapy, the vitamin C therapy, even the right frequencies. I have a lot of videos on that type of stuff. And actually, a lot of that stuff, even with those frequencies, a lot of people get confused about with healing with frequencies. The deal is they're not really all different from each other. John Crane's stuff was derivatives of Royal Rice. There is a relationship between the stuff. And there's limitations on how you do it. But the thing is, what I offer is low dollar stuff. I mean, what I tell people to do cost them literally just a few bucks. You don't need to go down to Mexico, pay $100,000, $200,000 up front, because Pastor so-and-so said so. Now, my plan is, because now I'm getting so fed up with these yo-yos, with the manipulation on the markets. My plan is, I don't even want to use, I'm working on, I said this in the last video, I'm working on just using HHO for cars, or hydrogen, piecemeal at a time. Messing around with the little Jeep thing out there today with the exhaust system and stuff. Just wanted to do a cheap fix on it instead of, well, you could buy the whole brand new thing, but then I got to spend money and wait for the parts to come in, and it takes me a couple of days to put it in or some shit. And it's like I didn't need to. So, but I'm going to be running some tests on it pretty good, and that might be a very, very economical four-wheel drive, extremely economical, especially with that Toyota carburetor that's remanufactured, that's a custom insulation. You might be able to get, 30-something miles to the gallon with that easily. That's pretty good for a four-wheel drive. The next one I'm probably going to do after that is going to be the 78 El Camino with the 350 4-speed. I'm going to probably run an extra. I think I'm going to keep it simple. I'm going to do an alternator on a separate alternator. Just runs the HHO with one of those. The internal regulator just excites it when it goes up to a certain RPM and turns on. And I'm going to run two 21-plate Liberator units, 2 units, pulling maybe about 20 amps each. And they'll be putting out, between the two of them, probably about 6 liters a minute. And I think what I'm getting out of this one is probably pretty close to 2 liters a minute on a Suzuki. Now, the reason I'm doing this stuff is the best way to choke off the elite is screw them all the way. Because I want to tell you one thing: if you don't actually start getting down hands-on approach with a lot of stuff, in the future you're going to be sitting down in your lounge chair and you're going to go to buy a car, for instance, and it's going to be a Google-controlled car. It's going to be made in China. It probably won't even be a Kia or Subaru or anything like that, or a Hyundai or a Honda. It'll probably be a Cherry made in China. It's going to be controlled by Google. You're going to be mapped everywhere you go, and you're going to be charged by the mile. So, I'm telling you right now, man, if you sit on your ass and you freaking think you're going to freaking fix some shit on your own by clicking buttons on the internet, it ain't going to work. I'm going to tell you that right now. It ain't going to happen. Unfortunately, that's about at least 98% of the people out there. They don't want to do the shit. Me, I've been very, very independent all my life, and I don't want to give a shit about, playing the game. That's the way I am. And I don't sell no DVDs like Lindsey Williams. But anyway, as far as the metals, though, it's, now people are saying it can go down to $10-12. It's going to stay down there till 2017. I say no, because Hillary's or somebody or some warmonger is going to be in freaking office. If it's a Democrat, it's going to be Hillary Clinton. It could be Jeb Bush. It could be Ted Cruz. It could be Mitt Romney. But any one of those people, or if it's Hillary, any one of those 4 people, they're going to start they're going to go to war in the Middle East. And once that, and actually, they've been arming the shit out of themselves in the Middle East, left and right. Qatar, which has 250,000 population, they bought the most amount of arms from the U.S. last year. United Arab Emirates. I know Saudis, they're freaking armed to the teeth. They've always been. And right now, they're going to be going. They're going to be fighting. They're getting ready to fight each other. To tell you the truth, not this is. They're getting ready to fight each other. They're getting ready to. Well, when that happens, all that oil is going to be off the market. And guess what? See, what might be going on right now, you're not going to see this oil. You might see some dip in the oil prices pretty hard. But it might be like the same deal they're trying to do with the mines. Knock out the small guys out of production, which will be taken over by the big guys in the oil industry. And once the big guys take it over, they're going to have all these resources cheaper that they could have never developed themselves. In other words, all these little guys work their asses off to getting all these smaller production shell oil companies going. The big guys will knock them out of business by, because the oil price is going down. They'll buy them up for pennies on a dollar, and then when the Middle East war happens, the price of oil will go right through the roof, and then Lindsey Williams will be selling DVDs for $150 a pop. The guy's a Mason, man. He's a Freemason. He's a disinformation agent who works with Alex Jones and David Icke and all these other yo-yos. I'm telling you that right now. I don't know how many times some people got it, but a lot of people just will never get it, ever. Never. Not in a million years. But that might be the game. They're going to temporarily drive some of the guys out of business in the shale oil industry and they'll be taken over by the big boys, and it'll drive the prices way up. I know they're going to drive the prices way up. But in my case, I'm going to hardly pay them any damn thing. And if I got to do this in steps because I don't know the high-tech falutin garbage. But, if you get 20% better mileage, fine. I don't give a damn. I'm gonna actually get it down. If I might be able to figure it out, though. I might be able to figure it out. Because there are certain things that you can do that looks like some of the technology is more available. But I'm going to keep it simple, stupid. I'm not going to get into really high-tech stuff. Like, in other words, if I do the El Camino, right now I'm thinking it's just slap on an extra alternator where the air conditioner unit would have went. You also have to do is get the pulleys for that. And, no, internal regulator. And run two 21-plate Liberator units that they put out about, they say 3 to 4 liters per minute, but they'll probably do 3 liters each, which will give me 6 liters per minute, which probably will make that 350 engine get some, I don't know, only going to get 30 miles a gallon, but it'll probably get a good 30% better or more, maybe 50% better. And when I pass this out, I'm not just doing it for myself. I want the word to get out there. I want a lot of people doing this shit because I want to stick it to the oil companies big time. Big time, man. Anybody that knows how to turn a wrench could fix the older cars that are non-computer controlled and do this stuff. When they're computer controlled, you got to worry about the EPA and all that stuff. And if you've got a computer controlled car and you want to do the HHO, what you do is you get the cheapest unit going that does not produce that much, and you don't do any modifications to your system. You might get a little bit better mileage, but it's such a small amount of HHO, it's not going to mess with the computer settings. So you want to keep it simple, you want to keep it cheap. But I think this is going to actually come into fruition where most of the oil supply that's coming out of the Middle East is going to be taken offline. That's when you're going to see oil go way the hell up. Gold is going to go way up. Silver's not going to go up immediately like to some stratosphere right away. It'll go up. But what will happen is it'll start catching up to the gains in oil and silver, and it'll pass them up in percentage gains. Then you're going to see the fans of disinformation coming out in the silver community, and they're going to tell you that, the sky's the limit for a spike. Let me put it this way. Silver can go to some hundreds of dollars an ounce as a super spike. But it's going to be dangerous as all hell. And when it's getting up, like, when you look at the profit and loss statements on the mines, and they're making a lot of money, and everybody's making loads and loads and loads of money. But it was like that with the real estate industry too. But it doesn't mean as soon as they make loads of money, it stops. Because what people do is they look at a curve and they say, oh, it's going up. Look at all the money people made. That's when all the idiots jump in it at the height. Like right now, everybody's looking at it going down. And thinking, oh, I better not buy it. They think just the opposite. But, if you got a bunch of silver, you don't need to keep adding to it. You might want to buy a little bit or something. It might go lower, though. It might go lower. It might go to, 14, 12, who the hell knows? I don't know. But then again, that could have been it. What we just seen could have been it. The 15s, that could have been it. I don't know. But I do know this. This is preceding the markets crashing. And when the markets crash, Yellen is going to make Bernanke look like nothing with QE. There's going to be a clamor for QE, clamor for bailouts. And that's when the bubble's going to start again, all over again, in the metals too. It's going to start not right away. The biggest part of the bubble happens at the end, but that's going to prove and move everything up. And the reason I can tell you again why the metals are basically, if the economy's strong, because they're saying the markets are good, which is saying the economy's strong, they're saying the economy's strong, the Chicago PMI went up and all that. If everything's so strong, how come there's no demand on commodities? If everything's strong, where's how come the commodities are going down? Even the real estate markets are starting to roll over again. But I'm going to tell you this: save yourself your $95 on it, and don't even waste your time listening to this freaking Pastor Williams. I don't like talking on there too much. I know I go pretty long, but I've been in a freaking accounting field a long time. I used to deal with talking with clients and talking with, interfacing with people, and I can think on my feet pretty fast. But you're better off just doing stuff on your own than wasting your time following every giddy rumor out there. Because you're going to have AJ, Alex Jones, he's been pushing, fear tactics with Ebola. And by the way, I'm just going to say it in this video. I'm not going to show a link. But there's a professor out there that says Ebola and HIV/AIDS was created by the government, and he's showing all these reasons for it. And it doesn't freaking surprise me in the least, And Alex Jones isn't going to say that, and he's going to bring that stuff out. He's going to tell you that Obama's incompetent and all this other shit. We already know that. He's not going to go too far and push and say things that could really upset the apple cart for the elite. It's a depopulation plan, but the way I look at it, we don't need the elite. They're garbage. We don't need them at all. We don't need them in the slightest. That's the way I look at them as a human resource. I don't see what their purpose is. What do they do for me? Nothing. I mean, everybody, I see these articles where Warren Buffett says this. I don't give a shit. You guys are a fucking crusty old piece of shit. I don't care about Warren Buffett. I'm supposed to be all impressed with this asshole. I think he's a piece of garbage, man. I know he would have got shot down big time if they didn't bail him out back in 2008. Which his bailout was the bailout for the economy that he was lobbying for. From the taxpayers' expense. But if we actually got smart, what we would do, and the problem is if we'd have a problem doing it, every single one of us should be a pastor like Lindsey Williams. Every single one of us. Because this way, anything we did for money, whether we sold, it's charity. It's non-profit. I don't know how that guy gets away with that shit. That's what gets me. I don't know how to, but there's a load of these guys out there. They got these guys out there, they call them satanic preachers. I mean, they make Lindsey Williams look like freaking Mary Poppins, But they play God, and they got this lavish lifestyle, and they talk Jesus, and they talk God, and miracles, and all this crap, and they get away with paying no taxes while the government's broke, and everybody else is supposed to pay. And people are giving these people money left and right. It's amazing. I tell you one thing, if they ever change the tax code, one thing I'd like to see is throw the 501c exemption, non-profit bullshit right out the freaking door. You don't even need it. Because most of them are a pile of charlatans. That's what I'm looking at. They don't do nothing. So anyway, this was kind of a hodgepodge update because I got several things going. And I don't want to say, silver all the time with these updates. There's a broad range of things that are going on where you're getting hit from a lot of different angles. But my angle right now is, low cost energy or lower cost energy is going to give you a lot more freedom. and I'm looking at that too. Some of these things that I probably even have, with the frequency generators, there might be some other ways that we could split, the hydrogen from the water. Maybe the magnetism might work. And when we do that, if we can get, I want to come up with simple things. I don't want to come up with high-tech stuff. I've been realizing that if you could actually just do elements of what Stanley Meyer did, and you could probably get some seriously high production out of some of this stuff and make a big boost. See, right now it doesn't seem like it's a problem because the fuel, gasoline is under $3 a gallon and stuff. But wait, I think it's going to go way the hell up, and that's going to be because of a war in the Middle East. When that supply is taken off the market, it's going to be coming up. It might be a totally different change situation by next year. But I'm already coming up with solutions now, and I got to do them in steps. And your silver is going to go way the hell up. It's going to go way up, and I'm gonna be selling it off. I'll be selling it off. I'll be taking the cash, and people will be bitching me out at that time. Just like they were, just like before when I did dump some in 2011. And electronic stuff, not the physical, electronic shit. When it was going up, I dumped it then, and people were saying, what did you do that for? Well, I don't, it's like they'll tell you, like, I just don't even want to argue with that kind of shit no more, because I realize that the medium of exchange in the United States is always going to be dollars. So I had the dollars, and I just, used them for other things. So, so that's the way I look at it. I realize that when it's going to go up, everybody in the world later is going to tell you never to sell ever. And no matter how high it goes, they're going to tell you it's going to go higher. And I want to let you leave with this thought. Not only did Eric Sprott sell on April 28, 2011, Thursday, right at the exact height, but so did David Morgan. He said he got lucky. But I said this a few times. He sold at the exact height, April 28, 2011. It's pretty lucky, ain't it? So beware. The way I'm looking at it is, I'm going to stick it to the elite, not by silver, but by everything I start finding out with bringing down the cost of energy, I'm going to pass on this channel, and it's going to be in steps, baby steps, but each step is going to be a real step. And I'm going to take a lot of little steps and get it up to the point where this word is spread all the way around. I'm not going to keep any secrets on how to do anything, and I'm going to keep it simple. And I'm looking for serious results, because the ones that really control the earth right now is the ones in the energy markets, which relates to everything in the world: food production, transportation of goods, the whole 9 yards. So I'm getting in on with that shit, because right now these assholes with the rigging the oil prices down, thinking, yeah, well, that's nice, but fine, but I'm realizing this is going to be temporary, and they're going to rig them up, and they're going to fleece the shit out of the middle class, and I'm going to be totally ready for them, totally ready, and I want a bunch of other people ready for it too. In other words, we get this technology, it might. I've seen stuff on YouTube where people are running cars off 100% HHO. 100%. That's getting to be a little bit more technical, a lot more technical, and you got to use pressurized containers and stuff. But it's getting to the point where a lot of this technology is starting to get refigured out that Stanley Myers did, and it's getting posted piecemeal. And I'm going to be on this shit every day till we figure it out, and when it gets figured out, it's going to be broadcast publicly, which means goodbye oil companies, totally and completely. And the way I work, I don't like get too theoretical and say, yeah, I'm going to do this, and I'm going to fucking, it's hands on. I want to do something, just do it right there, test it. I'll be testing this Jeep thing this week. I'm going to find out what kind of mileage I get out of it, maybe even tomorrow. And we're going to find out. We're going to find out immediately. Man, I'm going to put that out there, what the hell it is, for real results. No fucking around with theories. That's why that's my method. I'm going to do hands-on, baby steps, no theories, reality, reality, reality. So anyway, over and out, and like I said, when silver goes up, the energy prices are going to be through the roof. That's what's going to happen at the same time. I already know I know about what they're going to do. I just don't know when it's going to happen. I think the Obama administration has been a major stumbling block to getting a ball going in the Middle East, where there's other people that want a war going over there to drive up the price of oil, and that will happen.